What's up, people? We are back with more of Vault Milestone 2. In the previous video, we finally found lodging in Neo Sasori. Even though there were the people that were working at that particular place that we're sleeping at right now, or at least seeking lodging, were acting kind of, I don't want to call it racist, but sort of, you know, racist towards little Soul. Even though I'm not quite sure whether I find him trustworthy or not, but I think I shouldn't be. I'm actually thinking that the whatever Selphine is thinking / said about Soul, that he's probably, you know, that his story is real, but he is kind of sort of a person that he's probably like taking care of, and it's not something sneaky or dark or bad or in any means. It's probably just something that's actually really sad and will make us actually feel for sympathize with him even more. But yeah, I believe Rune has went to get some water, so yeah, let's continue. I think I should be able to get some from the reception. Water. Look around you, perhaps. Excuse me, I'd like a glass of water. Ja, ner som washa. Oh no, I totally forgot. I can't understand what they're saying. I'd like a drink. Maybe he'll understand if I act it out. Glug glug glug. Yes. Oh. Uh-oh, what do we do now, Rune? I'm back. Here's the water. How did she do that? Oh, thanks, Rune. Wait. What's the matter? Oh, no. It's just that... I'll go cool off outside. What? What did she have to do to get that water? What the hell? She needs... to cool off? I knew she'd have language issues. Poor Rune. What is she doing? Bzzz, bzzz, Rune, bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. Rune, come in, Rune. It's Rudo, brother. Der blurry on my end here. I can barely hear you. Do you copy? Over. Brother! What's this all of a sudden? Are you crying? Does she feel homesick? I see. You couldn't understand each other at all because of language issues. Exactly. And I don't want to keep asking Silly and Retona to translate for me either. Rudo is gonna send Rune some chip or something, some upgrade that will help her understand every single language. I guarantee it. Okay, not guarantee it, but I'm guessing that's going to be what's happening. I feel like such dead weight for them. That is quite the problem, huh? Only made even more difficult because of how you know how you never think before you act. You're going to be traveling to all sorts of countries. Isn't it common sense to think about how to deal with the language barrier? I was just so overcome with joy that I never even stopped to consider that. Well, don't panic. As we speak, the members of Lab 9 are analyzing the aeroratum that Retona and Selphine used. It won't be anytime soon, but you'll eventually be equipped with a similar function. What? Huh? What? What do you mean by that? Ask Albus for the details. He's the one in charge of analysis and development. Wait, what? Rune, can you hear me? Albus! Oh, it's even though it feels strange, right? Because I've literally started playing Milestone 2 after I finished Milestone 1, but it sort of feels nostalgic in a sense that, oh, Rudo and Albus are back for milestone 1, even though it shouldn't feel like there's a difference because there's like no gap at all between playing for me personally and for you guys watching as well. But for some reason it still kind of feels nostalgic to me, like, oh, Albus and Rudo are back, or Albus and Rudo. Yes, I can hear your kind voice loud and clear. Nothing like Rudo's. Well, excuse me, Missy. Oops. Did he overhear? Anyway, about development of that arrow radar. Oh, yes. Can I... Am I really going to be able to use it too? This is all happening so fast. I'm absolutely lost. Actually, we've been able to upgrade our system so that we can remotely control your manaware. What? Is that even possible? Every sister is connected to the Zevit's Enterprise with a special mana line in case of an emergency. This means we can transmit any information about your manaware directly to you. Does that mean that I have a direct Comcraft line inside me? Like Selphine and Rotona? Yes, the principle is similar to the transceiver that you have with you now. Science. Isn't it amazing? Fuck yes, science. But wait. Even if you could push new features directly into my manaware, it would need much more mana bandwidth than what we normally use for conversation, right? You're right. Manaware pretty much makes up your core existence, so we need some allowance for safety reasons. That's why we've allocated roughly 3 to 4 times the normal bandwidth needed for communication. So long as nothing too extreme happens, we should have more than enough to spare. But wouldn't that cost a huge amount of money? Well, quite. Well, that was the official reason for Lab 9 conducting field tests on new technology. Russell. The truth is, Rudo wanted to support you as much as he could for your journey. Before you left, he ordered your mana connections bandwidth to be increased by quite a lot. Wow, my brother did? I couldn't think of any other reason. He practically had a shouting match with the board of directors about it. This is so awesome as well. Like, we didn't immediately see it, and it sort of felt instant in a way as well, but it's just nice to see that Rudo has just completely accepted Rune, and it's actually he just basically did a complete 180 or 360 or 720, whatever you want to call it, but just completely flipped his feelings, his opinions about Rune altogether, which is obviously, I mean, given what he has come to learn, I don't blame him for being that way, of course, because if you know of something that you feared your entire life, that you prevented from happening for so long, and that you actually started to resent it in a way, but then and that was sort of keeping you from, you know, having that normal sister-brother relationship with your actual sister. But knowing that that is out of the picture means he can just doesn't need to worry about that anymore, and he can just solely focus on, you know, being there as a brother for his sister, which he definitely is now. So Rudo, hats off to you. Brother, just like always. I hope you cut him some slack. He still needs to work on his people skills. He really does. You know, it feels as if we've already been apart for a year and a half. A year and a half, huh? I wonder why. I know you all just left earlier this morning, but even I feel the same way. See, even they feel the same way, sort of. Ah, well, I knew I could depend on Rudo. He's my big brother after all. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, back to Arrow Radom. I've actually been curious about it ever since I've met those two. Thanks to Rotona and Selphine, I was able to witness firsthand a kind of mana craft called the Mind Dive. I was able to observe the process of packaging mana when Selphine communicated with me during the dive. That gave me a hint on how to do it. I thought that I might be able to replicate it through scientific techniques. Really? Is aeroratum simple enough that you could imitate it just by a quick observation? That's the thing. While I've experienced it myself, figuring out how to replicate it is pretty difficult. Still, a linguistic system that allows everyone to understand each other definitely has some aspects in common with the essence of what science is. Using mana as a vehicle for one's own thoughts and consciousness. Whoever thought of the concept is undoubtedly a genius. Basically, it's like constructing a universal mannerism that makes the other person understand what you're trying to convey. Thinking of words as nothing but various wavelengths might make it easier to comprehend. By assigning a different frequency and amplitude to each concept represented by a word, you could convey information regardless of what language you spoke. And then you package it and send it as mana so that the other person can more easily interpret it. Sorry if I'm interrupting. I don't think I understand even a single word of what you just said. Oh dear. Sorry about that. Nietzsche and the others and I were talking about the workings of aeroratum just now, and I couldn't help but want to share. I feel like there's a lot of awkward laughing in this conversation. I didn't know Albus could be so passionate about this. We should be able to complete the prototype by tomorrow. Tomorrow? That fast? It's not like we need to create a physical prototype anyway. It's nothing more than figuring out how to package it as mana. There will probably be some issues that need to be ironed out, but we'll continue to send you updates as we improve it. It'll take a while before it's perfect, so just be patient. Of course! And there you have it. We'll be sending you the aeroratum protocol one of these days. Rune, we're counting on you for the field tests. Yes! Leave it to me. Oh, and... How is it? The outside world. Brother, it's like, you know, just... yeah. What? Looks like your vocabulary mana bank is malfunctioning. That's not it. How do I say this? It hasn't even been a day since I left Cadia, and I've already had so many new experiences. How do I put it? It's full of overwhelmingness. What? Overwhelmingness. Rudo! You'll never guess where I am now. I'm in a city at the bottom of the ocean, right in the middle of the Vita stream that Dad researched. Can you believe it? A city at the bottom of the ocean. Port Sassari in Visconta, right? And bottom of the ocean would have to mean you're in Neo Sassari. Was it Ratona's idea? Good thing I made sure to give you a lot of extra money. No way! Rudo, how did you... Jeez, you know everything, don't you? At the very least, I'm pretty familiar with Visconta, especially with Sassari. After all, Hivis's flagship facility is located there. Anyway, back to aeroratum. I've actually been curious about it ever since I met those two. No, that can't be. How did they manage to get a contact? Was it contact or contract? I skipped too fast. It's a long story. Well, regardless, don't stay in Sassari too long. If you're a Neo Sassari, especially, then you should already have noticed that town. Well, I don't really want to say this, but Visconta isn't a good place to be in right now. What do you mean by that? It happened over 10 years ago. Visconta was on the verge of collapse until Xeris invested heavily in its development. Now, there's a huge gap between the rich and the poor for those two countries. I had a feeling that that was the case. Things felt off. I'll be straight with you. With the way things are, tensions between Visconta and Xeris are at their peak. Unfortunately, the ship arrived late, so you had no doubt but to stay the night. But you need to leave as early as you can. What do you mean by... Rudo, we're just about at our limit for the mana. We need to end the transmission soon. Did you get that, Rune? We don't have much time left for this transmission. Yeah. That place shouldn't pose much of a threat. For now, at least. As long as you're with Rotona, you shouldn't be in any danger. Just... all you stand to gain by staying there is... what? All you stand to gain by staying there is bad memories. Okay. I understand, Rudo. Hope to hear from you soon, Rune. Likewise. Good night, everyone. That was a nice conversation. Rudo, this is amazing. You're actually able to communicate with the inner pole. Of course. That was my idea in the first place. Well, yeah, I know that, but still. It's just exciting to see a sort of ambitious idea and to see it actually working as well. Because to have the idea is one thing, but then to actually see your own product work in that way, then you're like, yeah, damn. Doesn't it get you excited? Seeing it happen with your own two eyes. What would Sid say if he were still alive, I wonder? Who knows? And let's not forget Rune. Rune sounded like she was enjoying herself. I had my reservations about sending her out at first, but as long as she's happy. Come on, everyone. We're not getting any sleep tonight. There's work to be done. Let's hustle and finish this Aero Radiant Protocol prototype. Rudo, you have a meeting tomorrow with the board of directors, right? We're counting on you to keep them off our backs. Yes. Well, if you'll excuse me, good night. Have a good rest. Thanks for your hard work, Rudo. How do I put it? How do I put it? Oh. He's actually laughing about that. That's actually sort of a heartwarming experience. What was that fire? Oh, please, Misha. Get a hold of yourself. I'm surprised that you were able to get into the clocks with stamina like that. Oh, shut up, Flora. It's been years since I've been part of the unit. My body hasn't kept up. Ha ha ha. And Flora hasn't even broken a sweat. I wouldn't expect any less from a frontliner. That's, because she went through the rite of exaltation for Ophia. She's practically cheating. Even then, you running out of breath so fast means you're just lacking in stamina. Just what are you doing? I get in that furnace of a grand kitchen every damn morning, making the freaking grub you eat. Why don't you give it a try, huh? Oh yes, that's right. Thanks for all your hard work. Riggs, it looks like you've still got loads of energy. How'd you even manage that? Phew. I wouldn't say that. I'm feeling quite tired. Is that so? 'Cause it sure doesn't look like it. You look like you've got a whole lot more stamina than I do, at least. I ended up leaving the clocks midway, but the manual labor in construction really built me up. Even if I'm no good at mana craft, I may have some confidence in my physique. I can see where that comes from. Damn. And here I was thinking that cooking was already enough to build stamina. Rather than stamina, wouldn't it need more concentration and intelligence? It's not like you're doing any extreme movements. That depends on what kind of food you're cooking. Are you comparing yourself with Riggs doing construction work? No, that's just a whole different level. Now, don't be so hard on him, Flora. Misha's making a fine contribution to the kingdom. For me, anyone who works in the castle deserves some respect. Of course, those serving in the front lines also command the same amount of respect from me, Flora. Since when did the arrogant delinquents I know grew into such mature adults? Just how long are you gonna keep talking about the past? Jeez. Huh? I just can't help but sometimes when I just see the ha 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 ha, that it just sort of has this really sarcastic tone to it, like ha 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 ha. Because it's really hard to when you actually read haha and then to make it sound like a really sincere laughter. I tried to do it with the Rudo and I felt like that at least sort of felt sincere, because it's like wah. But when it's just really sort of dry, spelled out just ha 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 ha, then it's just really hard to actually, you know, turn that into a real laughter sometimes. What's the matter, Riggs? It's nothing. Just how long has it been since we talked like this? Yeah. Is this what it feels like to make up for lost time? How many years? I wonder. We haven't met since after Misha first started working in the Grand Kitchen. And Ratona. The last time all four of us were together was before she was appointed Selphine's royal guardian. That's right. So these are all Selphine sort of friends or people inside the kingdom that she grew up with. Like probably they were all the same age, and you know, you grow up with the children of your same age, and sure, when they reach like adulthood, they all start going their separate ways, which you can see already very clearly. Like Misha works in the kitchen, Flora's frontliner. Riggs works in construction, and Ratona is the guardian angel for Selphine. So, yeah, interesting. The dynamic between that. It's already been that long, huh? Hey now, don't make that face. Ratona and Selphine are still alive out there. That's why you came with us, right? Of course I want to believe that too. Just... I can't share that kind of optimism. Come on, now you're getting us all down. Look, all we have going for us is this mana signature. That's no proof that they're alive. The fact that there's a signature, that means that she was able to successfully bless the Vectorcraft. There's an 80 to 90% chance that they were able to escape, but that margin of error is still too large for me. Jeez. You're way too negative, I swear. Face reality, Misha. Just how dangerous do you think deconstruction, transport, and reconstruction to a distant area all are? Hell if I know. Yeah, that sounds kind of scary, right? Cause I'm not sure if I mentioned like this at like the very beginning of Fault Milestone 1 when Ratona actually first performed that act of basically. What was it called? The Riptide effect? Which is basically sort of as what people currently think teleportation would be like. Where you just basically, you step into this or whatever it is, whether you cast a spell like it would be here, or cast a craft, or here it would be sort of step into a teleportation thingy, and you basically just deconstruct, and so you're basically sort of destroyed, and you get reconstructed at a different place where you want to be teleported at. That's at least the last time I checked, which isn't that long ago, but I heard stuff about the teleportation that people think that is how it would work. But yeah, when you just think about that, that's actually kind of scary, right? Because in essence, when you get deconstructed or destroyed, you actually don't exist for that small period of time, even if it's just a millisecond again before you start being reconstructed somewhere else. Just thinking about that is kind of scary. That's a scary thought, to just stop existing for a tiny while and then suddenly come back? That's really weird. To me, at least, personally. To a third-rate mana crafter like me, teleportation like that may as well be some kind of magic trick. Yes, that's exactly it, Misha. There's no way this mana craft would work, or could work. Recreating the Riptide effect isn't something that any person could hope to pull off. Unless you're, what was her name? Melona? I don't know. I always keep forgetting her goddamn name. The one that, the scary woman that destroyed us for like, in the very first video of Fault Milestone 2. And then it's like, yeah, you get an undo button. So obviously I pressed that and all was well with the world again. But I forgot her name. Melona. It's something M-E and then something L or R. I always confuse the L and the R. I don't know. Melona. No, god damn it. Melisha? What? No, Misha. Never mind. I'm just gonna stop guessing because it's only gonna get worse from this point onward. I'm sure that this took the knighthood years and years to develop behind the scenes, and that Rotona and Selphine were the first ones to be the first ones to test it out. That must have been what Rotona was talking about when she mentioned years of breaking in. You mean Vectorcraft takes years and years just to bless? It wouldn't make sense otherwise. But what's the connection between that and you thinking that they aren't alive? It took years to develop, so wouldn't it be natural that it'd be safe? I don't think so. What do you mean? They spent years and years carefully developing it, which means that it didn't want a single mistake happening. Why take so much care? I'm sure it's because the consequences of it failing are far too great. If even one little mistake happened, I think that the users would never be able to be reconstructed. That the billions and billions of mana particles that made up Rotona and Selphine would never reform and simply scatter away. Just thinking about the possibility, that's just nothing but baseless speculation. Nothing but a shot in the dark. There's no proof that happened. Flora, you've always had a tendency to overthink things. That part of you hasn't changed at all. I have proof. What? Huh? Misha, Riggs, let's pretend. Let's pretend you were Selphine's guardian on the night of the attack. The enemies already made their way into the castle. Given that kind of situation, when would you escape? If you had the same kind of mana craft for escaping the castle, when would you use it? Well, I see your point. If it were me, I would have escaped the moment I found out that the enemy was in the castle. What? Really? In that situation, the enemy's victory is already assured. Once they breach the castle, it's more a question of how long you can hold out. If that's the case, then the most important thing is securing Selphine's safety above all else. Yes, that would be the natural thing to do. Rotona has a good head on her shoulders. Head and shoulders. She should have understood that too. And yet, she waited until the very last moment before she blessed the mana craft. Why would she do that? I understand that point. Like, if it were just a safe option with 100% guarantee success rate of escape, you would just use it immediately, right? But because if there's even a slight doubt of something could possibly go wrong, you'll explore every single option first before eventually going towards that one if you don't see any other way. So yeah, they have a point here, or Flora does. Why would she do that? Well, that's the way I see it. That craft is something of a last resort for a do-or-die situation, something you could only use when you're a hair's breadth away from death. I see what you're getting at. Wouldn't that be the most logical conclusion? Flora, Riggs, huh? Let's just stop thinking about this. How come? All of these theories are nothing but that. Theories. There's no hard evidence to back up all that conjecture. But who knows what really happened back there? You know, during the attack, all I could think about was how to prepare the cherry for dinner. The new line cook messed the marinade up, and the smell was just overpowering. What? I knew we were under attack and all, but the marinade was in the back of my head the entire time. While we were in the shelter, all I could think about was the kinds of peppercorn that could help neutralize the smell. That's really all I could think of while I was in there. Even though there was hell going on outside. Good grief, Misha. I swear. Look, my point is, Rotona probably has her own way of thinking and doing things, and I'm sure that that was all she was thinking of that night. That's what I believe. How can you be so optimistic at a time like this? You talk to me like I haven't changed, but neither have you. Misha, I don't want to deny the possibility what you said is true, but Flora does have a point as well. Come on, no need to get mad. But I'm not. Well, I am. Do you have your head on straight? Your entire rescue mission is based on nothing but gut feeling. What a farce. Sorry to say this, but your theories are nothing but gut feeling too. Yeah. They seem to be based on logic, but it's nothing more than pessimism. At the least, they're no more logical than my own theories. Well, at times like this, it's best not to think too deeply about it. Just go by what you feel is best. More importantly, I should get to making up some grub, you two. Oh, what the hell? Misha, fire! Got it. Damn it, Misha, Riggs, don't commit any mana. Stop it now. Is there a forest fire? What's going on? That's okay. What's wrong, Flora? They're going to detect us once they detect a shift in the mana lines. But they're going to catch us off guard if we don't commit any mana. Don't tell me you're thinking of fighting them without any mana craft ready. Are you two idiots? If we can avoid any of fights, then we avoid them. There's no point in us engaging in combat. If they find us, then run. Do not fight. They're coming. Holy crap. They're back. Coco and Marie. Well, it seems like they're after Misha and I forgot her name already. Flora and Riggs. That's what their names were. But yeah. Holy crap. We're gonna end the video here. I'm enjoying the fact that these characters are all coming back. I'm definitely enjoying the new characters as well. Misha and Flora, Riggs to an extent as well. But yeah, I sort of felt that it was a pity that you were introduced to these characters, Coco and Marie, in the very beginning, and then you basically didn't see them at all again in Milestone 1. I mean, it's very understandable from the direction that the story took, because it was all about Rotona and Selphine, and they were nowhere near the direction of both Marie and Coco, and the only way that they would possibly meet each other is if Coco and Marie actually figured out where Selphine and Rotona went, which is really hard for them to find out, and even Malona, or whatever her name was, figured it out really late, and it was only just towards the end of Milestone 1. So yeah, their paths couldn't possibly have crossed in Milestone 1, so I'm not blaming it at all, but it's just nice to get to know more about these characters as well, alright? Even though they're the bad guys. But even bad guys are sometimes can be enjoyable characters at the very least. But yeah, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the very next video. Peace!